Hi, it's Chelle, and I want to welcome you to my new series. You probably know me from TikTok. If not, let me introduce myself. To keep it simple, I'm an eclectic pagan, and I've been well acquainted with the occult for over 30 years. And in this series, we are going to go through pages that post paranormal content. And as we go through the videos, we're going to decide together whether it's real, a hoax, maybe unfiction. And as a disclaimer, all opinions that I share are my own. I'm not telling you what to believe and what not to believe. By no means is the purpose of this series to embarrass anyone. I love the paranormal. So without further ado, let's see if I believe you. Alright, so Steven here, I have been following for a hot minute, and he has some interesting things going on that we're going to go through together, you know? The one thing that I really like about this page is that for years, there was nothing quote-unquote paranormal about it. Most of the content is like blue-collar guy-esque until it wasn't. So that's why we're investigating him. He is a believable poster, in my opinion. One more interesting thing as I scroll, he loves storms. That's something that I caught from his early videos. So he seems to be the kind of guy that looks at the sky a lot, especially when it's storming. And that's important. You know, people's hobbies lead them to discovering certain things. People who walk trails find certain things. People who, I don't know, moves into a haunted house experience certain things. But I think that him watching storms or being, you know, a person who enjoys being outside while it's storming does play a big part into why we're even covering his story. And here's an example of what I'm talking about.
So you know how the other day I made a video talking about storms and how they're so calming and relaxing? Well, now I got my new favorite one. Beach storms.
Here is another example of him recording storms just for fun. Also, I want to give Steven a shout out for going and searching through caves to find a missing person. That's amazing, man. I love to see it, and you deserve props for that. But this, so 12/15/2024. You know, remember the drones, right? They're very popular in New Jersey. We did see them out here in Ohio as well, and many other places, some other countries, different times, so on and so forth. I think Britain or England, whatever, actually saw them first. But I have not watched this video. I just realized this is the first one where he talks about any kind of UAP or drone. And so now we're going to go through this together. And we're going to decide together whether what this man is experiencing and catching on camera is real, a hoax, I don't think it's unfiction, but that's an option, or something else entirely.
All right, so with all the drone stuff going around right now, I've been in the wireless industry for 13 years, and what I'm going to tell you is I went down a rabbit hole about these drones flying in a grid pattern, possibly searching for a device that was snuck into a port. Now, that being said, I can see that. It's actually the most reasonable thing that I've heard yet.
And I would have agreed with him at this point in time. Fun fact. I knew the drones were weird, right? But I wasn't convinced it was like aliens or anything. I was actually more convinced that it was a different country. I'm not going to name the country because that's not what we're here for. But, you know, at this point in time, around the same time period, me and him would have agreed.
And that you have DJI that has cloud mapping and so forth. Now, that's to myself and the general public. I can absolutely believe that the government has their own type of drones, and honestly, they're exactly doing that. They have a technology to be able to scan for said threats. Now, here's the other thing. Given that these technologies would have to have a network, I can promise you and assure you that one of those networks I work on maintaining, which is called CBRS 3.5 multimeter wave, right? Or the 6701 antenna. Now, last 2 years, we spent in better part, working out kinks, ensuring that network was top of the notch. And I'm going to tell you, it was priority. And when this antenna goes down, it's sitting right here. It looks like this. This is the front face air seal of the antenna. And then this is the radio, 3.5 CBRS. Now, the reason why I have that is because I maintain those. Now, when you talk about like multiple drones being in an area on a network, they would have to have a very secure network, very steady network with no loss, no communication.
Okay, so he knows exactly what he's talking about. Didn't know that about him. Like I said, I followed him for a little while, but not for this reason. I didn't know his background. So that's impressive and also great. I love that so much.
Anybody in the military that was in the Navy or Air Force, they can absolutely tell you this, that they have to have that network because they utilize it themselves in the Navy. As a matter of fact, it's a Navy band. Now, when the government isn't using it, it does offload traffic from other, networks and things like that to try to help load balance, especially on the higher end of the frequency when you talk about, your 2100, so forth. Now, the problem with this is why wouldn't you tell the general public this is really what's happening and that we have a bigger problem on our hands, right? Which is there's a device that got into a port and we're trying to find it. Well, if you don't think fear mongering is a thing, I'm gonna tell you right now, it kind of is. They would rather keep you up in arms.
And I agree with him here too. Fear mongering is absolutely a thing. I mean, if the government was to make an announcement like that, I mean, people would be preparing for the rapture. That's all I'm gonna say.
And trying to figure it out than to tell you the truth. Why? Because it would straight set panic. It just would. Now, I'll say, when you look at like the pandemic and how things shaped up with that, I think that people thought that would have set, panic. And it honestly brought us closer to our families and stuff. Hell, it's what made social media what it is today. But what I can tell you is these drones aren't your average drones, man. DJI, I have literally 2 of them sitting right here. MAV. It's the MAV Pro. Then I have my thermal right here. And I have another drone. It's the minis. Now, I'm going to tell you, I can't get them things to stay in there 45 minutes, at most 30 minutes, and within working time, they're probably 20 minutes.
I love that I'm actually learning watching this video and understanding, like getting a better understanding of drones, their power, how they work, the system, and thank you, Steven. I appreciate you for that.
For these drones to be capable of staying in air for 2 hours at a time, now that is where I'm questioning, like, what in the world? But I want you to hear what people are saying. That some of these are the size of cars or small vehicles like a Volkswagen Beetle. If that's the case, they absolutely exist. You see them on YouTube all the time. Matter of fact, DJI Agrodrone T40 has to have 2 massive square batteries that go in it. Now it can operate with 1, but it needs 2 technically to run within the working time and the load. Like I think the load limit is like reduced 10%. I don't know, something like that. But anyways, long story short, this makes more sense to me that these drones are gritting and searching for something. And maybe that's why our government is saying, hey, this ain't, it's not what you think it is. It's no fear to the general public, and they're keeping their mouth tight on it. Because you can't make me think that with something being in our skies with the Iron Dome system and all that we have at play, that they don't have an understanding of what's going on. Like, oh, no, I didn't know that was there. Yeah, you did. Anyways, that's just my thoughts on it.
And I greatly appreciate your thoughts on it. I was more, it's either the government or something the government can't control. And I was on the fence, especially at this point in time.
Is there any spirits out here that would like to talk to me?
Not gonna lie, this is a surprise. I didn't know he did this. None of these kinds of videos ever showed up on my FYP. So again, like I said, we genuinely are doing this together. Now, while I find this extraordinarily interesting, it actually, believe it or not, does not fit the story I'm trying to follow here. So unless it starts fitting into what I'm trying to cover here, I will probably leave these out, even though maybe I'll do a different video on just this part. Yeah, I might have to do a second video on you, Steven. Hopefully you like the first one, because now you're investigating a possibly haunted jail. This again, he hasn't always been into this. Like me, when I started in like 2019, I've always been into the paranormal, right? When people suddenly become very interested in the paranormal, that always catches my attention because it alludes to them being a non-believer or a hardcore skeptic prior to that, if they never talk about it, which means that they had to have experienced something that changed their mind. And I love figuring out what changed someone's mind. It's actually one of my most favorite things to ask people. Is there anything, that you can't explain that happened to you that made you a believer in the paranormal or whatever? But yeah, we might come back and do a second series on you, because I didn't know this side of you at all, man. Okay, so he has a YouTube channel, so definitely subscribe to that. Vanished and Corrupt Goes Paranormal. Love it. Absolutely love it. I probably will go over to their YouTube at some point and check that out and see what all they got going on. I really didn't know about the paranormal part. This particular paranormal part. Man, that's really cool. I gotta give more props. You built your own spirit box. I could never. Dude, I wish I would have known about this side of you before I started this video. I'm not gonna lie, but I'm so, you know, set on I want to go through this together, so we all find out info together that I genuinely didn't know that. Kudos to you, dude. Building your own spirit box thing, that's awesome. I will say that the first video was made about drones, the ones in New Jersey, quite a while back. So right now we are February 19th of 2025. It looked like he focused more on the paranormal exploring for a hot minute, which makes it even more curious why I followed him for a different kind of content. I also would like to point out I have to mute this one because of the song. He already... Go away. He already... Go away. Lord have mercy. He already is recording the skies. He's recording storms, flooding, so on and so forth. So that is going to be important to note later, right? He always has a reason to be recording. That's what he does. Okay, I am on August 7th of 2026. Remember how long ago he first spoke about drones, right? I see over here that I liked and favorited this, so maybe I haven't been following him as long as I thought, or I'm thinking of my old account that was banned on TikTok. Maybe I followed him there. So this is where his story kind of starts, as far as like the UFO, the UAP, and the drone things go, aside from that one video that we watch together, which means I don't have a whole lot of content for this, and I didn't expect that. So we're gonna go through what we do have, and knowing his background, and I'm assuming maybe some expertise in drones and aircraft and things like that, I really think it'll be interesting to hear what he has to say about the things that many people, including myself, see in the sky.
So most of y'all know where I live or roundabout, and if you're from the area of Hendersonville and Gallatin, and you were in or near Long Hollow last night between 8:30 and 9 o'clock, you saw what I saw. I have no way to put into words what I saw, except that I'm pretty sure it was a portal of some kind, because I watched things come out of it. I've got the videos and photos, and it wasn't until after I looked at them that I even noticed that they're little, what looks like creatures or...
That immediately makes me think of, I refuse to say the word, I'm superstitious about it, but the Walkers with Skin Ranch. You can put that together, switch words around, because that is what so many people reported seeing. So that's an interesting, connection between two things I'd never thought I would have connected together like that.
Parachuting? I don't know, man. I just know that we are living in some strange ass times, and I don't post often, and this is something that intrigues me, but I had this like weird feeling, and it wasn't like, oh, I'm in danger or anything, and I tried to get as close as possible. But what got me is the aircraft. Although they look like the FAA lighting, they're not. And the sound. Small engine, jet, it doesn't matter. They displace the damn air, so the sound travels behind it.
I will say that I have seen some crafts that have what I call mock regulation lights, because you can tell it is not, the real regulation lights. They're not the same. It's almost uncanny valley of aircraft, I guess you could say.
These did nothing, and they dispersed like it was like a force field around it. I don't know, but here's the videos.
I will let you know this is sped up to 1.5, I believe, just because I need things to go fast.
Not moving at all either.
Am I tripping? Because he did not comment on it at all. Hello? Down here. WTF? Wait for it. What's that? What was that? Hello? Hello? You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go slow it down. I'm gonna really slow it down. We're doing 0.75. I love TikTok on PC. What in the world is that? I hope it's... Is that water? Is that... Oh, please explain that. Okay, pause. I'm gonna put it back to the speed I had it, and go. I really do want to know what that is, though, because that was weird.
I wonder if I can do it.
I'm gonna assume that the flashing we were seeing on the side is the cars going by, the headlights. But that is just an assumption, because you can't really tell. Oh, also, I'm going to cut these videos to hell and back if there's any emptiness in it. But if you want to see it uninterrupted, the username is going to be in the description, and if I can link their YouTube channel, I'm going to do that as well. He was really zoomed in. Okay, so he at least notices it, and then,
So this
okay.
thing hasn't moved at all. Look at this. And there's like little drone lights near it too.
Now remember his experience. If this was a typical drone, he would be like, it's a typical drone. So there is a reason he's recording it. He doesn't recognize what it is. I love this right here. This is where it looks like they are returning to the portal. Near the end, you see blinking lights next to the light ring. All right. Yeah, see, they're not, the regulation lights, they're not normal. Fun fact, I got a photo of one of these things. It is the most... I took this on a potato looking picture, but that's what they do. The fact that he was able to get a clear image of this is insane to me. Bro is not playing. He said, I am going to have a stable camera shot, plenty of different angles, close-ups. I love it. Thank you. I can second that. They do typically leave 0 sound. I sound super biased in this because I am, because I see them too. So I apologize. I don't know how to get rid of the bias when I have my own video evidence, my own experiences. Why I'm going through his page is not because I don't believe him. It's because there was something about him that told me that he was not one to just look at anything in the sky and be like, UFO, alien, UAP, orb. You know, he knew what he was talking about. And so when he sees something in the sky and he cannot identify it, it is either military that is advanced past his knowledge, or technology made by, I don't know, maybe the tech bros that we don't know about at all. It could be aliens. It could be a foreign government. I mean, I don't know. But when people like him don't know, I definitely want to hear what they have to say.
So for the past few nights, I've been watching the skies, and I'm out walking over right now, and it's daylight, and I'm going to show you what it looks like back here without, it being dark. So if you look at that Jeep right there, if you go probably about 100 yards to the right and up about 250, that's about where it sits, and then it will fly around, releasing those little drones, whatever they are, into this area right here. And here's the other thing, man. I've heard, oh, Stephen, man, maybe it's drones, planes, whatever. One, I'm a drone operator. I search for missing loved ones, and I can assure you it's not a drone. And if it is,
See what I mean? That's why I listened to him right there. That right there.
it is a military-grade drone. What's it doing here? These things are about maybe 350 to 400 feet in the air. Not only that, if it was a plane, and given I am by Nashville Airport, they would make a sound. Being that low, no, there's no way, man. And where are they at during the day? Nowhere. Like, we just stopped flying. I'm gonna post a bunch of pictures. I want y'all to look at these. I'm gonna circle some things, and I want to leave kind of the table open, blank. I want you to see what you see. Mind you, you're going to see a lot of orbs. Zoom into these orbs. Zoom into the creek. You will see what I think you will. And there's one in particular where you can see that they're actually kind of in front of me, and what looks like one laying on the ground. So here you go. Not to mention, how do you explain the ring of fire or a portal that was 300 feet in the air, a plane drone? We spend our whole life being lied to. And maybe there's a part of this where the paranormal that we think we see and experience is ghosts of loved ones and stuff. And it's possible. But what if it is these beings the whole time? We can't see them. And they're there. And so I just woke up, and it's 4 because I kept hearing weird noises. But look at this. They are out full force. That is wild, man. The whole sky has a minute right now.
This is where I'm going to be just like real with y'all. Once you spot one of these things, you start seeing everything else in the sky too, like you're hyper aware of everything. And so sometimes people will start mistaking satellites for things. People who don't know what Starlink looks like, what a satellite flare looks like. So I'm not gonna sit here and say every single one of these white dots on the screen are an orb or a UAP or what have you. Some of them could be stars, some of them could be satellites. And that's just making sure that we're staying grounded. You know what I mean?
Look at that. And what's wilder is right above that, there's these like little star lines that right there. See that?
Yeah, see, that is not Starlink. I promise you. I've seen it with my own eyes. I've seen videos of it. That is not Starlink.
Is that an arrow? Are they making an arrow? Go this way. I'll show y'all, because you can't see it like I can, but look at this photo here.
I also want to let you know that I did take astrophysics and planetary habitation / biology, and I'm not an expert by any means, but I can identify a lot of phenomena in the sky. I have a really good understanding of the things that, to someone who didn't have this interest, would have no idea what they're looking at. So if I do see something and I think it's something else, which I believe just occurred, well, that right there is called the Orion cluster or something. I'll correct myself here if I was wrong. And before I knew it existed, it weirded me out too. Now see, up until that moment, I would have dismissed it as a star. Stars don't just blink, okay? I'm sorry, they don't. Stars don't blink. They might twinkle, but they don't completely go dark and then come back. I mean, if you have a PhD in, astrophysics or something, and I'm wrong, please hop in that comment section and tell me I'm wrong. But from what I understand, that's not a thing. Yeah, I'm sorry, but stars don't do that. I'm sorry, they don't. Now, maybe he only picks up the other ones when he zooms in? Like, if he just zoomed in? But see, the original one stayed the same size. So, yeah, I can't say that's a star. Because it's not. Look at that. That's crazy. That's a good catch, bro. Look at you.
Sit down.
That is some good footage, man. That's exactly what I see too. That's crazy. If you follow my TikTok page, and hell, I might even have talked about it over here, the triangle craft. A lot of the time you can only see 3 of the lights on them, but if you watch them, it almost looks like they rotate on a pole. Like the center of the craft never moves, but it's spinning, staying completely in the same spot. And sometimes you can see a 4th light on it. And the only reason that you can really differentiate them from stars is by taking a video and speeding the video up and actually being able to see the movement, because the movement can be very, very gradual. But also, if you look at them, they are like a shade darker than the actual sky. And then you, like, once you see the outline of the triangle craft, you can't unsee it again. And I try to be as unbiased as possible. It's hard for me to stay unbiased in this because I've seen it. But that does not mean I won't point out what things are when I know what they are. Just like the cluster. I recognize that for what it was. But at the same time, I don't know what the fuck that is. And if he's a drone operator and he doesn't know what that is, then that's something interesting to look into.
So most of y'all have probably seen the videos I posted. Trust me, I think I'm going insane myself just thinking.
You're not. I mean, like, you're so not that more people believe you than don't at this point.
Alien stuff. I can't wrap my head around it. And one of the reasons why I posted like the pictures, like circling stuff, was to see about the pareidolia effect. What do I see? What do you see? Kind of get everybody's input.
Yeah, see, he's aware of the pareidolia and everything. So he's a very self-aware, logical person, and I really like that. Because some people are full-on believer no matter what. They are riding hard for that belief, right? And I don't think that's healthy. I believe that leads to psychosis. Like we covered in the last video, we don't want to go there. But having healthy skepticism like this is really good.
Really see what looks like a little alien. Now, mind you, none of this is saying that that's what that is. I can't explain the aerial phenomenon.
I did not see a picture with what looked to be an alien. Give me a minute. I'm gonna go back and see if I can see what he's talking about. Okay, so zooming in on the PC didn't work very well. So I unfavorited it, refavorited it, and we're gonna go screen record it. See, real time. What did I tell you? Right here. Okay, I don't see it.
What do I see? What do you see? Kind of get everybody's input. One of the pictures I'm fixing to show you, I clearly see what looks like a little alien. Now, mind you, none of this is saying that that's what that is. I can't explain the aerial phenomenon. Like, I have never in my life seen what I've seen. I have heard many times, oh, it's a swarm of drones, it's this, it's that. No, it's not, man. And I'm telling you right now, whatever this is one of the craziest things I've ever seen. Last night, when I woke up, I went outside because I kept feeling something. I just had this weird feeling come over me of I needed to go look. I needed to see what was outside.
So it's interesting that he explains it that way, and this is why. I tell my husband that I can hear them, right? Most people can't hear them. I don't know, I can hear higher frequencies, but when it comes to lower ones that I should be able to hear, I can't hear those. So like take normal average human hearing and then like scale it up, but I lost the bottom, you know? And it is like a beckoning call. And the fact that even though he can't hear it, from what I understand, he can still feel it though. So I wonder, I never got the feeling, but I could hear them. I wonder if they know like who can hear them, and like are they broadcasting it on purpose? This is just like little ideas I'm floating around, kind of mulling over. I don't know. That's interesting though.
I point up at the sky, I show you guys. I can't explain it. Like, it looked like a question mark, an arrow, and yeah. And then it was like they drew a damn alien themselves, like in one of the photos that you see. I don't know. I know that's too high to be drones. If you watch these things take off, they zoom. But anyways, here's the photo.
No, hold on, go back. I was looking at the Regulus constellation to show you. And compare. I want to compare. I mean, okay, right here I see a head with little face things and the little body here. Yeah, I do see that. I'm not going to say it's not pareidolia, but I do see it. Now the next the next photo is this one. Okay, he's going to explain to you what he sees. I am looking up a picture of the cluster with a phone camera. Okay, so I've been lying to y'all the entire time. So just kidding. Here is the Pleiades star cluster. You could see the resemblance there. It's very possible. And I was right the first time. Okay, and here is the Orion Nebula. Now, this was taken 5 days ago as of 8/15/2026. I'm going to see if they overlapped each other at any point. I'll be right back again. Okay, so what I'm seeing here is they're always kind of close together. Like, they don't really move away from each other because of how far away they are and our vantage point. We don't see that movement. So that's what those look like. And this is Steven's photo and his explanation on what he thinks it is. I'm going to let you guys make up your own minds.
Yeah, and then it was like they drew a damn alien themselves, like in one of the photos that you see. I don't know. I know that's too high to be drones. If you watch these things take off, they
I really think, I don't know about this one. I really think that is a celestial body, literally. But again, you guys make up your mind. You have my thoughts on it.
To tell y'all, I've had some very strange things happen, and my wife had to deal with it last night, especially. This even being not the original audio or video. And if you're wondering what I mean, it's simply because yesterday while recording this little thing in the air, I thought my videos were doing just fine, but they came in staticky, and for whatever reason, the audio cut away. But watch this.
Just like I said in my TikTok video, like, a couple days ago, Monday? Maybe a week ago? I was like, broad day. They were out there broad day. 3 days ago? Broad day. I'm just saying. Alright, found the page. I'm gonna go ahead and give him a subscribe. Let's see what we can find over here. Unfortunately, it looks like the last video he posted was 10 months ago on here. So this is something we're gonna have to keep an eye on and probably do a part 2. That's what I'm guessing. Yeah, 3 months ago. So he hasn't been over here in a minute. So we'll keep an eye on it though. So far though, Steven, I do believe you. Mostly because of my own experiences. Mostly because I might not have the same experience that you do. But I do have experience with, cosmology, astronomy, astrophysics. I know a lot about the atmosphere. And a lot of things that you showed are unexplainable. Some could be, but I don't think you're crazy. Just make sure you stay grounded. Keep recording because that's what lets you know. And I hope that you get a chance to update us soon. For everybody that hung out with me throughout this video and went on this journey with me, thank you so much. I will see you in the next journey. If you have any requests, anything you want me to look into, leave it in the comment section. I will write it down. I'll check it out, see if I want to dive into that. But yeah, let me know what you want and I'll look into them. And I appreciate you guys. I'll see you next time.